machine. Hello, is anybody on? Sorry about the noise in the background. Yeah, they'll be on. There's somebody there already. Hi everyone. We're just waiting for more people to come online. We're baking some cookies today. My son Christopher, who is actually doing the cookies today for his classmates, so he'll be taking them into school tomorrow. Here's Christopher. Say hello, Christopher. So Christopher is going to be doing the cookies with my supervision. Hi guys. Right, so we're sorry about the noise. The washing machine is on. I thought it'd be finished by now, but never mind. So we're going to start off with... Yeah, let me just wait until that spinning just goes off for a sec. Should be off in a few minutes. Christopher's gone to help sort it out. Just turn the thing to 0. That, yeah. Okay, come. Yeah, that's it. So the machine stopped. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't plan it right. So first, what you need to do, come Christopher, come and do your cookies. So Christopher's coming back down to sit down. You need a cup. I'm using this as my guide and measurement. So you need 1 cup of soft room temperature butter, where we've beaten that to a very soft consistency. Okay, Christopher, carry on beating that. Okay, now we want to add again a cup of sugar. So I'm just going to drop that into there. And we want to mix it until the sugar dissolves. So there's a lot of mixing there, Christopher. So use a little bit of elbow. We're just going to keep mixing it until it almost becomes like, how should we say? I forgot what word I was going to use. Breadcrumbs. Okay, so just keep mixing it a bit more, Christopher. So can I just take that off here for a sec? So we're just mixing it until it's like a breadcrumb consistency. So maybe a little bit harder mix. So this is me just taking over again, but Christopher, keep mixing that for me. We're going to add ½ teaspoon of salt. Okay, keep mixing that. Mix all the ingredients together until they're well combined. And sometimes what you might need to do, Christopher, is use the spatula to get the edges so everything gets mixed in. So take the spatula and the edges, do the edges so that everything like that. Hold on. Like that. Okay, so you're combining everything. Teach them early. Okay, now mix again. Okay, once that's all mixed and you're quite happy that the sugar's dissolved, Christopher's going to beat 1 egg. Beat the egg, Christopher. While I mix this a bit more. You can use an electric whisk, but by hand is just as good. That's it. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. And we're going to add some rum essence into there. Okay? I'm going to beat that all up, and just a little drop of, if I can get it open, some cinnamon. Okay? Not too much. I'll just take that off you for a minute, Christopher. So we're beating up all the wet ingredients and move that to one side. Once our dough is mixed, okay, we're now going to add the flour. So Christopher, mix all that in, and you've got a cup and a half of flour in there. Okay, oh, yeah, you've got to be a bit more gentle because the flour goes flying. Can I just show you? So just mix it in like that, Christopher, first, and then you can give it the works afterwards. So he's just mixing everything in with his butter and sugar. Okay. And it's good to let them do it, and then that way they can learn. Because otherwise you start taking over, then it's not really your thing, it's not their thing, it becomes yours. So. And then use your spatula to scrape the sides like I showed you. Sideways, there you go. Sideways, like that, okay? That's it, keep going. Scrape it all, so you can then mix it all again. It's really difficult when you're left-handed, so Christopher being left-handed, it gets a little bit more. And then mix again, gently. So once you think the dough is all mixed in, can I just borrow that here? Just make sure you've got the bottom, because it gets stuck in the grooves of the bowl. Like that. I'm just doing the final mix. What I like to do is wash your hands, obviously, make sure your hands are nice and clean, and just go in with my hands, because you want it to be like fine breadcrumbs. Okay. You don't have to do this, but I like to do this, because then that way you know it's mixed all the ingredients properly in there. It's like a powdery. And then what I'm going to do is just make a little hole in the middle like that. And Christopher, pour your wet ingredients in there. Okay. And then just use the back of the spatula to get everything out. Okay, put that there to one side. And now what we're going to use is the spatula just to mix it all in. Okay. Just going to do this bit for him because it's a little bit harder. But it's really difficult when you've never done it before, so. But he's going to get to do the fun bit, which is rolling it out. And so I'm just going to use my hands now, and we're just making the dough now. If you think it's still a little bit wet, you can just add a little bit more flour. We're just going to keep rolling the dough, mixing the dough in. You can really smell all the spices in there, the rum, the vanilla, and the cinnamon. Okay. See, it's become like a really nice dough. I find it a little bit wet, so what I'm going to do is just get a little bit more flour. The flour has been sieved, so you have to make sure that the flour is sieved when you've done that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. Maybe I didn't put too enough, just to stop it sticking. Just a sprinkle, that's all. So it stops it sticking to the bottom of the bowl. Okay. And once you're happy with your dough, it should look like that. Okay, so that's your cookie dough. Now what you can do at this stage, okay, just wash my hands. I'll just move all this out of the way. Just keep some flour by. Sprinkle some on your board. That's it, sprinkle some on your board. Like that. And Christopher, if you get me the cling film, you can add the chocolate chip cookies now and mix it into your dough. Or, if you haven't got chocolate chip cookies, you can white chocolate or dark chocolate. Get some dark chocolate. Hold on, Christopher. So what we're going to do now is we've got a bar of chocolate, cooking chocolate. You can get dark chocolate, light chocolate, or even white chocolate. And what I do is I just break maybe so you get 4 chunks, or maybe a little bit more. It's entirely up to you how much chocolate you want. And you get a knife and you just start scraping the knife down it until you get quite a bit of chocolate bits like that. Okay, and then just roll your dough into the chocolate. Okay, that's if you haven't got any chocolate chips, so you can do it that way. And then your dough, just keep this dough actually it's very wet, so you need to keep sprinkling some flour because it warms up very quickly. And you can always just keep it in the fridge to keep it nice and firm while you're rolling out your dough. So you can use a scraper. See, I'm just rolling all the chocolate bits into the dough. Again, sprinkle some flour, because the more you play around with this dough, the more it becomes wet. So while you're chopping up your chocolate, you could actually keep it in the fridge to keep it nice and cold. It works better when it's cold. So really you need to prepare your chocolate beforehand. Okay. So if you've got the cling film ready for me, Christopher's going to get me some cling film. Because what we want to do now, we want to, oh, it smells so nice. Wrap it in with a little bit of flour, cling film. So we're going to wrap our dough in cling film, if I can find the start to it. And we're just going to keep it in the fridge for about half an hour to an hour. Depends on your fridge, how cool it is. Sorry about that. So we're just going to wrap our dough in the cling film like that, and we're just going to keep that in the fridge for about half an hour to an hour. So I've actually got some that I prepared earlier, and that's been in the fridge for 2 hours, and that's been in the fridge overnight because we made some cookies yesterday. I'll just wipe that down. Again, for Christmas, sit down. Just clear some of this mess up. I'm just making a bit of room. Keep the flour. That. Okay, so Christopher's actually going to be rolling out the pastry. The dough, sorry. So what we need to do, let's start on this one. This one is just a plain one, a plain cookie dough. Okay. And so that's quite firm. I'm just going to cut a small portion for him. Again, you can pop that back in the fridge while you're working with your cookie dough. Christopher, he needs then to put a little bit of flour on the surface of the board. Stops your dough from sticking. And Christopher will start rolling that down. So you press down and roll. Stop. Press down and roll. Like that. You can use in the middle. And then you can turn it that way. Okay, Christopher? So you do that and turn your dough over as well, like this. So if it's sticking, what you need to do is you get some flour and just sprinkle some on your board and wipe it down like that. Okay? Okay, and turn it the other way. Turn the thing the other way. Press it in the middle, and then that way it becomes even. Okay? And you roll out the dough as thin or as thick as you want. So turn around, Christopher. Okay. Can I just pick up the dough? Lift up your pin board. That's it. Because you don't want to, you need to keep checking that your dough's not sticking. Do you see? It's alright, you just pull it out with the knife. See? This is why you need to keep moving your dough. Because this dough firms up. Okay, can I just do it for you? Right, we'll start again. If it goes wrong, it's fine. You just start again. Okay? So just mix it all up into a ball. So you go once, twice, and you work really fast with this dough. And you keep adding flour. Let me just do this for him because it is a bit tricky. So if you get your cookie cutters, Christopher, they're over there. Choose which one you want. This one actually rises, so you want it as thin as possible to keep its shape. And just keep sprinkling. Okay. And it gets bigger and bigger. Turning it over. Always sprinkle flour or icing sugar. Depends what you have on hand. Choose which one you want, Christopher. Okay, that's ready for you, Christopher. So choose which one you want. Which one you want? So we've got a little circle flowery one there. And there's one. And you need to lay some baking paper on a tray. And we're just going to lay all our cookies there. Okay. If Christopher can choose something. Which ones have you chosen, Christopher? So if you just cut the shape that you want, what shape do you want?
Which way is it?
So you need the sharp end onto there. Press it down really firm. Use the palm of your hand. Okay, lift it up. Okay, so you press it quite firm, and then if you can always use a knife just to pick it up like that, not to break up its shape. And put that there. Okay, go more in the centre rather than the edges because it's thicker in the middle. Okay, there's a nice star shape there. Beautiful. And another one. That's a nice bell. There's a reindeer, Christopher. That's a reindeer. You've got a shooting star. Okay. Pop that out. Oops. I've got no idea what that shape is, so if you can tell me what shape that is, I've got no idea.
It's a person.
Is it? Is it a person or a bell? I don't know what it is. That's a really nice heart there, Christopher. Right, let me pick that up for you. You can always use a flat knife to pick it up like that, and it keeps its shape. And you've got a star, okay? And we're going to have another star. Okay? And when you lay them out on the tray, make sure there's enough room, so don't overpile them on the baking tray. Always leave, because they do expand and you don't want them going into each other. So space them out, don't be in a hurry. That should be enough, and I'll just roll this out and we're just going to bake them in the oven at 150 for 15 minutes in a preheated oven in the middle of the oven. So just baking that in the oven now while Christopher cuts a few more out. Okay, so we need to use the knife to lift them up. Wait a minute, let me just roll out the pastry again. The dough, sorry. Okay, don't forget to flour your surface. Rolling pin. It's a little bit messy. The pastry that I just did, the dough that I just did, the cookie dough, we've just cut out. It's a little bit thin, but it's fine. So let's do a little bit thicker. So you've got Christmas trees. So it depends how thick you want the cookie dough. That's a little bit thicker. Bearing in mind they do rise, so there's one. Did you press hard? Yeah. You got your reindeer, you got your shooting stars. And the fun bit about making these cookies is the decoration afterwards. Okay. So look, Christopher. that's okay. Okay, do you want to do some more? So let me just roll out the pastry for you. Always, because the more you handle it, the softer it gets, because of the butter in there. If, yeah, tap it. That's it. If you're not very good at rolling pastry out, what you could do, okay, that's enough. Don't press too hard because that's what happens. So I'll show you how to roll pastry, how to roll dough. I keep saying pastry dough, sorry. Right, so start in the middle, okay, in a ball. Sprinkle some flour on there, like that, so it doesn't stick. Right, start off with a ball, press firmly one side and then the other side. Turn it over, press, roll. Press, roll. Keep turning it over, press, roll. Don't forget to add your flour. Okay, stops it sticking, press, roll. That's ready to cut. Here's a Christmas boot. That's quite nice, a Christmas boot. Press it firmly. And I would suggest, if the dough is quite soft, use a flat knife to pick them up. Okay, and then, yeah, or you can use it that way. Okay, let me just roll it out for you again. And you see, you can make so many cookies out of these. The ingredients that I gave you, I'll link it down below. And as you can see, we've still got all that. You can freeze it and do it another day. There you go, Christopher, ready to cut. Press it down firmly. Let's have some more Christmas boots. That'd be nice. Okay, don't overload your tray because we don't want them touching. Okay, hold on, let me just roll some more. Until you come to the end. Oh, I was going to say, if you're not very good at rolling the pastry out, you just haven't got the knack for it, what you could do, roll them into small balls like that. Press down with your thumb and you've got that cookie, and then you can fill it up with jam. So you can do those type of cookies. So just roll them up, or you can just leave them rolled up like that. It's nice with thumbprint cookies. So you just roll them up and just press down with your thumb. So just make sure you've got them evened out. Roll them into a ball, press with your thumb. You don't want to leave the cookies in there to burn. So make sure you're always keeping an eye on them, 15-20 minutes, and spread them out on your tray, not touching each other because they do expand. Okay, and if you just hang on a few minutes and we'll see if the others are ready. And we're going to put these in the oven too. So what you could do, this is the chocolate chip cookie. Okay, so we're going to be making some of those. So, let me just get rid of the debris off the tray. So, the next one. You can also put walnuts in there. Okay, these ones. Or hazelnuts, depends. Find out from the school if anyone in this class is got allergies to nuts first before you actually do this one with the walnuts. And what you do is just cut a bit of the dough. It's already got chocolate in there, so I'll just wrap the other one up and put it in the plate. We're going to first sprinkle some flour, wrap the cookie dough in the flour, that's it, and roll it out. Christopher, like I said, press in the middle and work to your sides. Roll, that's it, and there. Don't press down too hard because it goes all the way down to the bottom and you end up like that, going uphill. Okay. Okay, stop a minute. I'll show you. That's not too bad, but I'll show you the best way to do it. Okay? So, you start off in the middle, press down, roll, roll, so it's even, okay? Turn it over, roll to the other side. And you keep doing this. So you can have big cookies, chunky cookies. Okay, so do you want to cut them out or do you want to roll them out, Christopher? Cut them out, he likes cutting them out. So, hold on a sec, sprinkle a bit of flour. But what you could do, we want to put a bit of hazelnut in there, so no hazelnut? Okay, Christopher said no hazelnut first. So we're going to cut maybe a boot, because we ain't got many of those. Put them on the tray. These ones are quite thick, so you'll find they'll rise quite a lot. So, depends how you want them. They might actually lose their shape. So you want to check your cookies. Shall I do that for you, Christopher? Okay. So anybody can do this easy recipe. It's it's fun. It's Christmas. So Christopher, they're ready to roll out for you. Just sprinkle a bit of flour in there for him, stop it sticking. Christopher? Or you can use icing sugar, entirely up to you. He's gone to get some more shapes. There's a Christmas tree one. I like the boot, do some more of the boot. There, that one. Oh, you've left it there. These are quite thick. So they'll rise quite a lot. He's got a little gingerbread man there. Let's have a look. A little, little gingerbread man. So when you're doing cookies, just make sure how thick you want the pastry, because that will determine how your cookies come out as well. So I'm just going to show you an example. This has been in the oven for about 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and these are the first batch that we made, and they're quite light and they've kept their shape, and these are the very thin ones, okay? Careful, Christopher, it's very hot. And when I very hot. When I said leave them spaced out, because if you don't, this is what happens. See, it's curled up because it was touching the edge of the tray. Okay. So these are the thin pastries, and they've kept their shape. Okay. And just let them cool down. The back will be brown, as you can see, but you don't want to keep them in there too long because then they harden up too much. This way they're nice and soft, so that's fine. I'm happy with those. This is the second batch, and as you can see, they were a little bit thicker. They still have their shape, okay, but they're quite raised, as you can see. So it does depend on the thickness of how you roll out your dough, if you want the definition on your cookies. So just have a play around with it. Try thin ones, thick ones. Sorry. Okay, that's that one. And we're just going to put the thick ones now into the oven and see how they come out. So that was the first batch. Okay. They cool down quite quickly, but before we can decorate them, here's one that, this is the Christmas tree one that broke because the end curled over. They're crunchy. They taste really lovely. Christopher, taste your biscuit. Tell me what you think. Yeah, you like them? Now, what we can do is, what we need to do is basically decorate them.
I think it's a bit undercooked.
But Christopher said they just maybe need a little tiny bit more.
That one's alright.
I think they're perfect. Okay.
Alright.
So Christopher, what he needs to do now is decorate his cookies. So Christopher, there you go. He's got all the stuff that he needs here, and we're going to make some icing. So Christopher will be on this side decorating his cookies while I cut some more out. And I've got, well, because he wants to do something quick and easy, he's going to be doing his and I'll be doing some mine with some different type of icing. So Christopher, there you go. So he's going to start decorating his cookies. Because these ones are quite, because they're quite thin, they've cooled down really quickly. So, yeah. So Christopher, he's disappeared again. What you could, so you're going to decorate, yeah, your cookies? So
Icing.
This is pen icing, or do you want me to make some icing for you? Okay. So he wants to use some icing. So what we do, pour some icing sugar into a bowl. Okay. And we're just going to add a tablespoon of warm water. I just added a tablespoon of warm water into the icing. And what colour do you want your icing, Christopher?
A mix.
A mix. So I've got some food colouring here.
Red and white.
So
And blue. Red
put a drop in there. of the red one. And we're just mixing our icing in there, our icing sugar, just a little bit more water. Careful, you're shaking my camera. So I've mixed some icing in there for sugar, for Christopher, with some warm water, just a tablespoon, depending, well, just add it bit by bit until you get a really nice consistency. Okay, and Christopher, how do you want to do these? You can put it into a piping bag, or you can just dip them in there. So do you want to just, how do you want to do these? Sorry?
Just put it over.
So what you
Like
could,
you did on the other ones.
do you want to do half? Do you want to do half?
Half. Yeah, just like that.
He just
No,
wants
I mean like the whole thing, yeah.
the whole thing? That's more tricky because I need to make more icing. There's other ways of doing it. I'm just doing a quick way to show you.
Yeah, like that.
You need really a piping bag, Christopher, if you want to cover it all completely.
No, just one side though.
Yeah, but you still need like...
Just dripping.
So you got a hot one. If you want the icing to be properly evened, I think you need a piping bag, Christopher. And let the icing go all over it. That's one of the red ones. I'll just leave it on there for you. So, do you want to carry on doing that?
Yeah.
Once that's dried, then you can use the other colours on there. What you could have done, Christopher, is drop them in there, maybe. And lift up. A bit messy. Just let it all drip. If you guys know a better way of doing it, because we don't really make cookies that often. And there's one star.
I just stripped it all over.
So you can... That's it. Just tilt it upside down. That might be the best way, Christopher. Let's get another star. I think maybe just tilting them upside down might be a quicker way. But we've
do them over it.
We've got to just make lots of icing. I think tilting them upside down, they come out perfect. So I think that's what we might do. And you can just then decorate them in with your pen. Okay, they're coming out pretty. It's a little bit messy, but they're coming out even. But I think you need a lot more icing. So I'm just going to make a big batch for him. Okay, there's the reindeer. So if you're going to do this method, maybe a bigger bowl of icing I would recommend. Okay, and then it covers the biscuit all evenly. Turn around the same bit. Stand there so because you face the camera. So Christopher, while they're still wet, I think maybe get some tweezers to put them in. He's just decorating them. No, tweezers from up. Let me go and get you some tweezers then. John? The icing is still a little bit wet. Let me just get some glue, I think. A white would look nice.
That's what I said. Some glue as well.
Yeah, that's working. So we just put some around the heart, maybe start off. Like that. Maybe put some in the middle. I like the swirl pattern. And again, Christopher's doing the silver bits while I'm doing the swirl. He's doing the hundreds of thousands on there. Maybe someone there. So, excuse me. These were the thicker cookies we made, the more chunky ones, and this is how they've come out. Okay, so you don't want them to be in there too long because it really hardens them up. You want to keep them in there just for a short time, 15 minutes. Okay, I'll let them cool down. Hold on. Just stick like this. So you need to decorate your cookies when the icing is still a little bit soft so that the things stick to it. This is some pink chocolate. So you got some red ones that I've just telling you. So these are the ones we've just finished making. Okay. And just leave them to firm up and then bag them up. So these are the cookies Christopher will be taking into his classmates. We're just going to bag them up once they're cool, once they're completely cooled down. And I think they've come up pretty well. Do you want to taste one, Christopher?
This bit is different. It's not coming out like that.
Here, shall I do that for you?
How about we get to taste it?
So John, come here for a minute, please. to be our taster today. So we're giving them to a taster today. We've got someone tasting them. Tell us what you think.
Oh, they're lovely.
We're waiting for the verdict. So, what do you think?
Maybe if I had another one.
Maybe if he had another one. There you go. I'm just going to pass that on to John. He doesn't want to be on camera. What do you think? I think he's going to want another one. Another one, or?
Maybe with a cup of tea.
Now he wants a cup of tea with that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this live. How me and Christopher, come here Christopher. How Christopher, oh, Christopher, get down. How Christopher and I made some Christmas cookies. He's so tall, my Christopher. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. And we're just gonna carry on making some more cookies. Yeah, Christopher?
Yeah.
So give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lena's Home Creation, and get your friends to follow, comment and like. Leave your comments down below, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!